We're joined by Cheryl Mathis, and of course, she's the author of Leashes and Lovers.
Yes.
Who do we have here?
Thanksgiving. This is Shiraz, like the wine.
Hi, yes. She's like, yes.
But I'm a big coffee drinker like you guys, and but there's, with Thanksgiving right around the corner, right? We're getting all excited about all the festivities and the food. But there were some things I wanted to point out. One is some foods that we may actually have on the table that could be toxic to our dogs and make the event not so pleasant for everybody else.
That's right.
As well as going to relatives and friends and how to make it a positive holiday for everybody involved. But one of the things, first of all, since you're drinking coffee, there's caffeine, there's chocolate as well that has caffeine in it. But also, what's not good about chocolate for dogs, which we've heard a lot about, but that it really can affect their heart and their nervous system, the toxins that are in it. And those are simple little things that we might have laying around on a table like this, even, so everybody can kind of grab them when they want and not realize, even like cheese and crackers too. And if we're not looking, I don't know if your dog's like mine, but one time I had a display of cheese and crackers out, and we stepped down to the other room and came back, and all the cheese was gone.
It was gone.
So while in some cases it can be more toxic to your dog and create bigger problems, in some it may just simply be vomiting and diarrhea, but that too isn't a lot of fun.
That's not fun. Well, especially when you're busy anyways, and you have to clean up, a mess from the dog. But then too, I think people are tempted to give dogs treats, and maybe they aren't familiar with dogs, they don't own dogs, so even if you don't have a dog, this is relevant.
Right, and you may not always
somebody's
realize.
House that has one.
Yeah, like I was surprised myself when I first learned of some of these foods, like grapes and raisins and even onions. And while a dog may not just go and grab an onion and want to eat it, may not be tasty that way, but when you think about Thanksgiving and you're having turkey on the table, there's a lot of those ingredients in the stuffing.
Sure.
I'm sorry, in the stuffing is what I meant, that we may not think about. So we give them some of our leftovers and think that we're really giving them this great treat, and really we might be doing them some damage. For instance, grapes and raisins can damage their kidneys. An onion can also damage their blood cells, which can lead to anemia. Garlic as well falls into that category, although it's not as potent as onions. Macadamia nuts, which could be again in stuffing or just as one of those little things on the side.
Throughout the holidays,
can also affect a dog's digestive and nervous system. Avocados may simply be more something like vomiting and diarrhea, but mushrooms really surprised me, and that is a big factor that may be in stuffing.
That's in a lot of stuff.
Yeah, or even in gravy. People may put onions or gravy, and mushrooms in that. But that also has different types of toxins that can affect multiple systems and lead to even shock and possibly death. So I have a lot of these in my blog that kind of give a lot more details in terms of what these foods are and what they could possibly do, and that's at leashesandlovers.com. But as we get ready to go to the festivities too, there's some things I mention to people to keep in mind, that when you go there, not everybody's, I know you're a big dog lover and you have Gatsby, and we're working on you getting a dog.
That's right.
But that's a case in point. Like, say if we were going to Tracy's house, and he may not be familiar and comfortable always with dogs running through the kitchen, wanting to be under the table as we eat, begging for food, and you see those eyes and you want to give them something. But first I say, I have 4 different tips too that I give people. One is evaluate the setting. So, are you going to a dog lover's house? What's the environment like? Are there children present? Are there people who might be allergic to dogs? Have they met your dog before? Are there other dogs there? So, your dog seems very sweet. I think ours would.
That way.
Yeah, get along well with
probably get along
would.
fine. So it's just something to evaluate or kind of figure out who's all going to be there. Another one, I advise people to stick to the schedule as much as possible. So you put your dog in this whole other environment now. Shiraz would probably just lay there and be
That's good. That's fine.
But some dogs get a little nervous in other environments,
and
they might start having behaviors that could be disruptive, or they might.
It happens to me. You think about it. You get the relatives, like, oh my goodness, it's stressful for people. So I can imagine new smells, new animals, new people, everything for a dog. That's got to be certainly a stressful situation. But
so you may want to keep them on the same schedule as far as what time you feed them and what you do feed them, as well as also the types of treats, and let your other people know that if they're going to give the dog something, to check with you first to
Yep,
make sure,
that's
for
right.
one, it doesn't contain some of these ingredients, but also, you know, again, you don't want a dog who's having diarrhea the rest of the day.
Exactly. Well, we have
mess
sort of
up.
like a Thanksgiving show. I mean, we're having turkey. We have a lot of guests here. Shiraz is doing really well. Again, where can they find your blog and the tips?
You can find those at leashesandlovers.com, and also some tips for holidays, spending the holidays with your family and friends. You can learn more about that in a whole chapter in Leashes and Lovers, the book.
Awesome.
And that's a great book. Pick up your copy today.
Holidays
Love
are
it.
coming. Great gift idea for
Great
a pet
stocking
owner.
stuffer.
Yeah, exactly. When we come back, the music of Jenny DeVoe. Don't go away.